Hey everyone, and welcome back to Bleach Brave Souls, and today we're going to continue my top 10 list of the characters most in need of a remake. And for this video, I'm not going to script it, I'm just going to kind of talk off the top of my head, because I was watching back the last video and it felt a little bit unnatural for me. So we're going to go into a little more detail because this is the top 5 as well. That'll be the way this video goes. Here we go, guys, hope you enjoy it. So in at the number 5 spot on my list of characters that most need remakes is none other than Chad, yo boy Chad, or Sado Yasutora. And this character, he's a very old character, guys. And this version is probably one of the first 5-star characters to be released in the game, or close to it. And the statistics of this character reflect his age. 610 attack, that's no good. 517 spiritual pressure, wow, that is god awful. And it should also be noted that Chad does not have any other versions in this game. The only other versions he has are 4 stars. So Chad being one of the main characters, being one of Ichigo's close friends, I guess you would classify him as a main supporting character. He needs to have a proper 6-star level 200 version that's usable. It doesn't have to be overpowered, but it does have to be decent. Like, you don't want people leaving the room in co-op when they see you come in with a Chad. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Don't make him too powerful, but make him good enough for people to want him. Chad, he's always gotten the short end of the stick in the anime and the manga, and now in BBS as well. He definitely deserves a little bit better than that. I know he's not a very popular character, but he needs to be recognized as being a supporting character, and in that group of Ichigo's close friends, as I've already mentioned. If you look at his soul trait, that's pretty decent, but the rest of his upgrades in this version are terrible. Long reach plus 20%, you might think that's good, but Chad already has really short range, so 20% long reach doesn't really do much for him. And the rest of the upgrades, Frenzy is good, but you combine Frenzy with 517 spiritual pressure, and it's still not good. This character, he's not good. He needs to be better. He does have good defense, I will give him that, but he needs to have better than 517 spiritual pressure. He needs to have better strong attacks, things like that. And, maybe even give him a boost or something. I feel like that would fit his character as well. So, Chad comes in at the number 5 spot. So, moving on to the next character in this list, and we have, holding down the number 4 position, Mayuri-sama. I don't think anyone will disagree that this character is in desperate need of a remake. If you've been playing the game for a while, you will know that this character was the bane of every BBS player's existence. He showed up in way too many summoning selections, he was not strong, and he just was not something that people wanted. I remember I got this character maybe 6 times in my BBS playing career, if you want to call it that. And God, every time you see him pop up on the screen, it's just like your heart breaks. But he is a significant character in the series. He's a captain. He's probably one of the more dangerous captains, not in terms of power or raw fighting ability, but in terms of just being able to defeat you in a numerous amount of ways. He's a scary dude, and he should really be better represented in this game. If we look at his Hueku Mundo version, wow. You will be shocked if you've never seen this before. This is a level 200 character right here with 553 attack and 540 spiritual pressure. What? That's ridiculous. This is Mayuri, one of the better captains in my opinion, one of the more dangerous captains, definitely one of the smartest characters in the series, and he has 540 spiritual pressure and 553 attack. That is just a travesty. He does have 2 other versions that I'm aware of. He has the original technique version, which is not good for anything but rather than other than being a boss killer, and he has a tag team version, which is probably the best one of the 3, but still I don't consider tag team versions to be they should never be the most powerful version of a character in my opinion. But this Hueku Mayuri, wow. If you thought the stats were bad, take a look at the 6-star upgrades. 4 6-star upgrades. 2 of them apply to his special. The rest, long reach 10% and havoc 10%, that is laughable. Laughable, guys. And if you've ever played with this character, you'll know what I mean. Long reach 10%, that doesn't do anything. His reach is terrible. Horrible. I don't even know what other negative words I could use to describe it. And he does no damage, this character. So, yeah, Mayuri, he needs to be done better than this. When I was reading the manga and the anime, I did like Mayuri, but this game made me not like Mayuri, and I feel like they need to fix that. They need to make a version of Mayuri that is powerful. He should have poison on everything. He should have very good spiritual pressure, frenzy at least, maybe a boost. He should be maybe not a top tier character, but definitely a upper echelon character, if you know what I mean. You know, he doesn't have to be like a Blue Kenny, but he should be usable. People should want him, and his ability should reflect the character. So I don't think anyone will argue that Mayuri needs a good version, and this character is a very good candidate for a manga remake. If you guys didn't know, they are going to do 14 total manga characters. 4 of the spots have already been decided, so that leaves 10 open manga character spots. And Mayuri is definitely, in my opinion, he should be considered for that, because he has no good versions of the game. Not anymore. I mean, even when these versions were released, they weren't really good to begin with. So Mayuri, they got to fix Mayuri, they got to do him right, make it up to the fans, and hopefully we will get that done. So enough with the Mayuri rant, let's move on to the number 3 position, and this might be kind of controversial, but I feel that ORIHIME, Inoue ORIHIME, needs a good version in this game. Now, this character is another example of one of the main supporting cast not having a serviceable version in the game. Between ORIHIME and Rukia, we have the 2 main female protagonists, and neither of them are very good in this game, but I feel like ORIHIME is in more desperate need of a remake than Rukia. And if we look at the versions of her that are currently available, we have this Mind version, and we have a Halloween version, and we have a New Year's version. There's also a Frenzy character, but that doesn't really count as a playable character. I mean, those characters aren't intended to be used on a regular basis or in raids or anything like that. So if we look at the 3 versions, none of them are very good. Bottom line, the Halloween one is probably the most useful because it has a team heal, and the others are kind of meh. If we look at this character, the Hueco version, her statistics, you would think that it's not god-awful, but it's not really good either. And if we look at the 6-star upgrades, you'll see why. She has no Frenzy, she has kind of a weak Berserker. Her Bruiser is okay, but you have a Bruiser 30% combined with 579 attack, and it's still not good. So she needs to be in the game as a top tier healer. And I'm going to say this right now, she should be one of the best healers in the game, because that's the way she is in the anime and manga. But I know that that doesn't always mean that these characters will be the most powerful characters in the game. So, but she is very popular. She's a main supporting character, and she is, story-wise, she's a very powerful healer. So I think all those 3 things going for her entitle her to a good version. They've already remade Retsu several times recently, so I don't see any reason why they shouldn't do the same for ORIHIME. I mean, other than Retsu, or maybe Isane, ORIHIME should be, held up there with those healers. Maybe even better. If they were to remake this character, they would definitely have to give her a team heal. Absolutely a team heal. And in my opinion, it should be maybe even higher than the healers we have out already. The healers currently heal for 20% each. Maybe they should give ORIHIME a heal that heals for 25%. That's just an idea. But I feel like it would be appropriate for her character and her powers. Or maybe make her the ultimate support character. Throw her a boost as well, so maybe you have a heal and a boost. But then you take away some of her offensive capabilities to kind of balance her out. I feel like that would be an amazing ORIHIME. It would do her justice, because ORIHIME, if you know anything about manga, the Bleach manga or anime, she doesn't have very many offensive capabilities. She can, create shields, she can heal people, and that's about it. She does have limited offensive capabilities, but yeah, she should be in the game as a support character, and she should possibly be one of the best support characters in the game. So those are my thoughts on ORIHIME. It might be controversial because I know there's some other characters that people were thinking would be higher on this list, but I feel ORIHIME deserves it, and that's why she's at number 3. Alright, so moving on into the number 2 spot, and this should be a surprise to absolutely no one, but we have GENRYUSAI Yamamoto. Now, I was reading the comments for my last video, and there was so much support for Yamamoto getting a new version that's powerful that I was a little bit surprised. I didn't think the support for him would be that much, but apparently a lot of people want Yamamoto to be in the game as a top tier character, which makes sense because Yamamoto is the strongest Shinigami. Like, there is no question. Arguments could be made for some of the Zero Division members, but as far as the anime arc is concerned, he is by far the strongest Shinigami. Maybe you could argue that AIZEN is more powerful than him, but that's a debate not for this video. So Yamamoto needs a remake that is top tier. I know he's not the most popular character, but he is well loved, and he is deserving of that position. Yamamoto does have 3 versions in the game, none of which are particularly great. The original Power Red version is no longer relevant. That's like one of the original characters. The Green Technique version, it wasn't even very good when it came out, and this Purple Heart version is possibly the best version of him in the game. And if you look at the numbers, you would think, yeah, those numbers they're not great, but I can live with that. But this character, he should be better than that. That's the point. He shouldn't just be, I can live with it. He should be the type of character that's, holy shit, this guy's destroying everything. Because it's Yamamoto, and we all know that's what Yamamoto does. When he fights, he destroys everything. He burns everything to ashes. I mean, it's even in his Zanpakuto release command. So 655 attack is okay. 579 spiritual pressure is too low for this character. You might think that's alright. Like I said, I don't think it's alright for him. I think it should be much higher. And if we look at his abilities, nothing really amazing. Berserker at 40% is good, but the rest of the stuff is nothing worth writing home about. He needs to have better upgrades than this. He needs to have Frenzy. He needs to have Flurry. Maybe he needs to have both, because this is Yamamoto we're talking about, and he's a badass. So if we look at his soul trait, 65% fire duration. Well, that is god awful. I mean, situationally it could be useful, but if you're gonna give Yama fire resistance, give him 100% fire resistance, because this guy, man, like, he should be immune to fire. You gave Nemu 100% poison resistance. Yamamoto, 100% fire resistance. No question. This should not even be a consideration. And I'm pretty sure that if they remade this character, that is what they would give him. So, Yamamoto, a lot of support from the community for a remake that's OPAF, and I have to agree with you guys. They need to give this man the respect he deserves. So we are now down to the top character that needs a remake in Bleach Brave Souls, and I think absolutely no one will be shocked by my pick. It is going to be Aizen Sosuke. Without question, this character needs to be remade into a top tier, overpowered, whatever you want to call it. He needs to be at the top of the food chain for this game in general. Right up there with Ichigo, Kenpachi, and all those guys. Aizen, guys, the last time we got a proper version of Aizen in a summoning selection was the decisive battle, and I believe that's almost a year ago. A year ago for this character is unbelievable. Aizen is one of the most important characters in the story, in the series, in the franchise, and he is well loved and very much in demand. I don't know a video that I've made where someone doesn't comment, Aizen's the greatest or something like that, or Aizen needs a new version. This character, it is just unbelievable that he hasn't received more attention by KLab. If you look at the character that they have, the character that's on screen right now, the Hogyoku Fusion version, you might think to yourself, oh well, I mean, he doesn't really need a remake. He's still pretty good. Guys, and I would be inclined to agree with you just by looking at the numbers. He does have 705 spiritual pressure and 609 attack as a raged character. So those are decent numbers, but for some reason this character, he doesn't hit as hard as you would think. His strong attacks, even with 705 spiritual pressure, are not like anything to write home about. He does not have frenzy, so that kind of hurts him. But I think it's more the mechanics of what the strong attacks do. They have to hit in a specific manner for them to be maximized damage. So Aizen, maybe he's using his Kyoka Suigetsu on us, I mean, to make us think he's good with these numbers, but, in actual use, he's not that strong. His 20% stamina recovery soul trait, that should not be an Aizen soul trait. I understand why they did it, but, I can live with it, but I think it should be something else. It should be something, strong attack damage 25 or something like that. Or, maybe even the Ginjo soul trait where he gets 30% extra damage at low health, something like that. And his attainable skills, wow, these attainable skills are not good, guys. And maybe that's why he doesn't hit as hard as we think he would. Berserker, only 10%. So you think he has 10% Berserker combined with 705 spiritual pressure, and maybe that's why his strong attacks are terrible, and combined with the mechanics of them, it makes it so this character doesn't hit as hard as you would initially think. 705 spiritual pressure, yes, but 10% Berserker, kind of just like makes the 705 spiritual pressure irrelevant. And the rest of the upgrades, terrible. I mean, 15% Bruiser, really? Havoc, 15%? Come on, man. This is Hogyoku Aizen, this is one of the most powerful characters in the entire anime, and he has not been represented well by these statistics and attainable skills. He should be keeping pace, in my opinion, with Ichigo. Like, every time a new Ichigo comes out, around the same time, maybe a new Aizen should come out. I know Aizen wasn't present in the Fullbring arc, but they could still do other versions of Aizen. They have his Frenzy version, if you guys know what that looks like. That character model. Maybe just take that character model, give it some new 6-star abilities, give it some really good statistics, and re-release it. Make some new animations for the attacks, and you're done. Call it a day. And he should be top tier, without question. This is, like I said, like I keep repeating, he is one of the most powerful characters in the series, he's one of the most popular characters in the series, and he deserves to be treated as such. So hopefully Aizen will get a new version soon. I would like to think he is a candidate for a manga character release, but I mean, if that's still a long ways off, they should still release a version of him in between. Aizen needs more versions, period. He only has 3 that I'm aware of in game. He has 4, excuse me. He has a Frenzy version, which doesn't count. He has a White Day version, which is terrible. He has his original Captain version, which is so old that it's not relevant either. And he has the Hogyoku Fusion. And so that makes 4 total versions, but if you don't count the Frenzy, it's actually only 3. And that is just wrong, and that needs to be rectified immediately. Guys, how much hype would that create? A new Aizen. Wow. Hopefully K-Lab will get it done. Hopefully they know this and they're just saving it for the right time. But there you have it, guys. My top 10 list of the characters that are most in need of remakes. And I know that some of you might disagree with some of the characters on my list, but you cannot disagree with Aizen Yamamoto being in the top 3. Even Mayuri, he needs a version as well. So let me know what you think, guys. Of course, this is just my opinion, and you're welcome to continue the discussion in the comment section below. So thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.